Okay. Maybe we have sound now. Testing, testing. Oculus. Mic aux. Okay, so we need to audio input capture, add existing. That should do it. Hopefully. I still have no sound on mine. I'm capturing a sound that seems to be capturing. Mic aux. Oh, cat, please don't hit anything. No. Okay, good. All right, capture. Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. Coming through my phone now, so. All right. That means I can get back to work. Ugh. Okay. Doing some section, standard. It's bigger. Maybe not that big. That should be fine. All right. So hopefully people are able to hear me. What we're doing right now is working on my crystal lantern stuff. I made this whole casement for a 3D print, but my options for decorating it are going to be, yikes, what happened to my options for decorating it are either do it quote unquote traditionally or incorporate the decor into the design, which is something I would kind of like to do because it means I can print a bunch of them, and that will be easier than doing stuff every single time the same way. I will try from time to time to grab my phone and have a look at what folks are saying. So we've got here is, this is the hood of the lantern. The crystal itself is going to be right here, and it's going to light up. And I want, again, this thing to have some more decoration than just, standard stuff. And like I said, if I can 3D print it pre-decorated, that'll mean I can crud out a bunch of these things all at once. The inside here, which is what I'm doing now, has got to have its design effort stuff be really small because the crystal is kind of close to the back. If we're inside of it here, then we are the crystal, and we're going to be, yep. And if I make these decorations as big as I did on the back, then they're going to stick out and bump the glowy crystal. But I want to have something going on here on the inside. All right, I'm gonna, okay, good, my phone is there. Try to check the chat. What? Okay, you can hear me, it's low. At the moment, I can't do too much with the volume. Hey, so we got Spooky Sprouts, Dark Side, Trav, Sarah, Tracy, or at least that's the stuff I'm seeing, and Mr. Brown. Yeah, this is very much just a test. Can this be done? How can it be done? Where's my other thing? You know, it's the kind of thing I might like make a second channel for. Because unfortunately, doing this all the time is exceedingly it's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. If folks want to pop in and watch me crafting at the workbench, that's definitely a different type and style of thing than this kind of work. All right, I think this is done as much as I want. I only want a very light decoration in here to cast some odd stuff, and if there's anything more, then I'll just apply cotton to it and left. But I do want to try doing the other technique that I have on the back. All right, this needs to be masked. Everything should be masked. Masking, add mask. All right, I guess that's masked. Yeah, this is all masked. All right, I want to make some stuff that remove mask. Recast. Small. I want to experiment with trying to find a way to make things grow through and around. Whoop, crud. Smaller. All right. Up and over. When you do this kind of work, you can't really there. That'll be good for a test. First thing we're going to do is do a little deflate. Invert, invert, invert. Snap. Invert. Yes. I want a crossover twisting vine here. So we're going to have a little bit of that. Okay. Clay. I'm not going to recast this one. Stronger. What I have here is we're going to have a crossover vine. I want it going so far out that I can't I hate when that happens. There we go. I need to go over the existing branches, but not so far over that this thing completely erupts. We're using masking so that this thing doesn't do anything in the areas that I have not told it can do anything on. It can only operate in these unmasked areas. That way we'll get some branch crossover. Going to remove a little bit of masking. Nope, that is adding. Want that to be pointed like a vine. But yeah, I wanted to see if this stuff was streamable. And so that is part of the illusion, or allusion probably, for today. The downside, of course, is that I do not have chat unless I actually check my phone, which I can't be doing every second. Let's just get some weird shape in there. There we go. Look branchy, look viney, look strange. As I also consider this, I think we're going to have it go under this one. Or have it appear to go under this one. Smooth. More smoothie, more smoothie, more smoothie. Just can't really go into the surface. Bring this back up gradually. All right, so get over there, under here. Yep, under, over, turn weird. Okay. Gotta make this look a little bit more contiguous. Unmask this region. Okay. Smooth. Smooth. Give me a deflate. Yeah, bleh. Stronger deflate. All right. Now we'll make this look weird like it was before. Yep, I am a vine and definitely not some knucklehead screwing around on a computer with a headset. Good. It's been giving me the biggest trouble when I'm trying to raycast it. Look weird, look strange, have odd bumps. Really weird bumps. And it's not really weird enough, but close enough. Okay. All right. Now we got an over, under, over, and nobody's going to be looking at that much to care. All right, I'm going to grab my phone and check chat if I can find my phone. Wahoo. Chat, cool. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, Spooky Sprouts in the middle of learning how to make toilet paper clay. I hope that is working for you. I find that toilet paper clay is really, really nifty and a lot smoother than the paper clay stuff. Okay, Mr. Brown, I am on this particular app is called ShapeLab, I believe. Let me. Yes, ShapeLab. ShapeLab is this thing. It's done from inside of a VR headset, and yeah. Yes, I do not plan on making this, all the time, but this is just the experiment, so we can see some of the virtual stuff. All right, closing the phone. Back at it. All right, we've got stuff around here. The other aspect of this very much is how much are people going to look and care what this looks like. And honestly, so long as there's just some decoration on there and it's not a perfect surface, that's what I really care about. All right, masking. Need you to unmask. Clear the mask. The other thing I have to do is inside. I got a problem where in the printing of this thing, a big old support comes up and gets jammed inside of this geometry right here. So I'm going to test and see if I can do some stuff from this end to make that not have to happen. I'm also going to see how bad it is if I use the stamp to try to get us some supports in here. The problem with the stamp is I cannot have this thing go through. Yeah, and it is. So the next step is to try to add some material in there. Ay, it's hitting on the opposite side. All right, raycast, snap to surface. No, we can still raycast. Go perpendicular. Front faces only. Yep. That means I should be able to do this without anything coming through. Thank God. This is going to be sloppy work, but it's just to make it better for the print. If I can, because if this is filled in, I don't have to have supports back in there. But I have to be, nope, that is not supposed to be doing that. All right, that worked. Whoa. You know, I have a feeling this is just not going to work, and I'm going to have this area filled with support material. I don't want that. I really don't want that. But I don't know if this program will make it practicable to do it. I built this whole thing inside of a CAD program or computer assisted design. Ugh. Donk. Clear on this side. Clear on this side. It's still going to want to try to put supports in there, because what we got here is a surface on top, a surface on the bottom, and this is pretty much flat across. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Let's just undo it back. I'm not going to waste time trying to screw with that. Okay. So here is the shroud with decorations. Gotta work on another part. Okay. So we're gonna export this thing. Documents is fine. STL file. Shroud with decor. All right. We saved it. We saved it. All right. Objects. I do not want the sphere here. Go away. To import a model. Part 4. Zoom out. Okay. All right. This thing sits at the bottom of everything. Unfortunately, the geometry is really kind of Stoic and preset. To sculpt. Regularize. I've never seen that thing before. Yeah, good. What we're going to do here is increase the mesh density, which makes that look ugly as sin. All right, back it up. We're going to screw up the mesh density in this area, but try to keep the rest nice-ish. Wow, that went to freaking hyper mesh density. Holy crap. I just don't want to do this because that looks awful when you increase the mesh density on it. Yeah, looks awful. Okay. Mask it. Mask it all. Go to remove mask. All right, I need some viney crud coming up from the bottom. Where was that beautiful, beautiful... Yes. This thing is so cool. So here's a vine that's gonna come up. The nice thing is now that the mesh density is already set, it'll carry it on without looking too disgusting. We'll get freaky looking vines. Ugh. Don't like that. You know, maybe we'll just take some stuff in here and leave the rest. Good. I don't mind this side so much, but we get into this stuff and it really starts getting disgusting as that geometry resets itself. Okay. Let's add some mask. I want it to look vaguely plant-like. There we go. I'm doing here is just adding some new masking so that this thing will come to a point rather than being a semicircle. Point I want to come to. Okay. Let's do this with some strong clay. Nope, front faces only. And perpendicular, fine for now. And I love doing this in VR. So otherwise, you have to tell programs what to do, how you want it done, but inside virtual, I get to just keep working with my hands. Not bad. Yep. Want to add material, not have a weird ass looking glorp. In a perfect world, I'd have some nice music going while I did this. When I get all the basic stuff done on these vine creepers, and then I'll check chat again. And if anybody is watching on Twitch, I apologize. The only chat I've really got quick access to at the moment is the YouTube chat. Yeah, close enough. Yeah. Kind of wish I made that mask a little bit bigger. All right, chit chat. There we go. This is a Quest 3. Yep. Oh. I've seen people do that whole, printer running thing there, and I don't know how in heaven's name anybody watches it. It's, like I consider posting a time lapse of the printer printing projects, but not a live. Ugh. Ugh. Live feed is just here. It's like watching paint dry. At least to me. I just don't. That's a little too strong. That's a little too weak. Just want to add a little bit more interesting features to this if I can. Problem with this tool is it's a little bit more. I think I'd have better luck carving away features than adding them. Let's do a test section of that idea. Right here. Add an absolute ton of crap. All right. Now let's cut some channels. I don't know if that looks that much more viney. Let's give a lot more fall off to it. I bet this would do great for pumpkin side grooves. It looks like ass. I think if I did it, if I went nuts for ages trying to make it look perfect, yeah, it probably would. Or I can just go clay, raycast, a little bit bigger. And that'll give me just a quick, weird ass looking texture without having to spend extra time dicking around with really fine stuff. Nobody's going to be looking at this stuff that intently anyway. Zip. Considering the size of this part, all I have to do is just break up any smooth transitions. That's about all it needs. Looks great. Yep. Just, yeah, look funky and freaky. Masking over here is being a little bit weird on that. No. Just make that crap go away. All right, clay, raycast. Just look weird and scaly. Good. Want to make sure I didn't have the perpendicular stuff going. Just, yeah. There. All right, now this part has got some leafy crap. There. Pre-built. If I need to, I can lay some cotton or something over it. All right. Export. STL. This is it's not really like shroud. It's a motion sensor cover. Send it. Where's part 7? No, it's not some ridiculously tiny one. Whoa, there it is. Oh, right. Screen the sculpt mode. Okay. This one needs its stuff on the back. I don't know if this is going to give us. No, it's not. What we're going to need to do then is start a wacky ass piece of geometry. Ugh. Hate it. Alright, this can't change. No. Can fractalize that a little bit, but this line cannot augment. Let's turn it off raycast. That's fine, that's fine. That isn't the worst. All right. We'll try it. Worst case scenario, we just don't. Are these holes? No, just weird ass geometry. Okay. Weird ass geometry I can live with. Because I can take weird ass geometry and cover it. Oh my, look at that. No more holes. Huh? What holes? Yep, smaller. Thank you. Alright. This I can live with. Alright. Mask it. I really wish the masking had a different freaking coloration. Like much darker. Maybe we can change the room. Alright, a little darker environment. See if that has any effect whatsoever. Alright, we're all masked. I just want a... You know, I want to do this faster. I love that setting, but... But pew! No. Pew! Pew! And... Pew! Good. Got it. I'm a plant. I have a tip. Awesome. Clammy. Nice strength. All right. Just give me a quick initial build-up. This is the rear cover that covers up the battery section and the internal circuitry access for the project. Now I'll probably take one of these pieces and test print it at maybe half scale first to make sure parts all fit together. All right. Get big. All right. Now there's a thing on the back. All right. Let's do decrease. Maybe the crease is the thing I need to focus on to... And a funky look. Let's do a test section. Crease. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Just kind of highlights the crap I've already thrown in there. Without demanding that I do 2 hours of microfine work. Ooh, in fact, I can make it look very twisted very fast doing that. Me gusta mucho. It's fast, it's easy. And it's done. Just needs an identifier. All right. And check the old chat again. Chat. Okay. Yeah. Death Star. Right here, yeah, this one does kind of have a vaguely fleur-de-lis-ish take to it. Ugh. Again, I just wanted to have some extra stuff. At the moment, what we're going to have is that big cover part goes up here. And on the opposite side, where this chamber is, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Yikes. Yikes. It'll be fine. Okay. This little divot here should not be there. I have no idea how long ago I worked that up. So this part here marries up with that last piece, that kind of angular bit with the two holes in it. Matches here, and hopefully now I'll be doing the last part. Go away. Import. Keep the original transform. Oh my god, yeah. Okay. This thing really doesn't need a whole lot. I've got some skull type things that cover up these gaps. I might just leave this part, honestly. The only area I can really do stuff on is these two plates. That last big plate with the fleur-de-lis thing is going to clunk right into here. And if I do stupid designs on this, they're going to be so small, nobody's going to care about them at all. And the skulls will fit in here. So I'm just going to leave this part. All right. You know, last little bit. I just want to have some fun. Let's see what some of these other... Too green! Too pink! Not bad. Chroma key, simple stuff. I like my clouds. I like my nice wide sky. Last bit here, I just want to have some fun. I want to have some fun by making a pumpkin. Wouldn't be the first pumpkin I've made in this thing. Won't be the last. I need to make it hollow, though. I'll just do it the same way I did the last one. With any luck. Get rid of my setting. Stamp. Circle. Oh, that's as big as I get. Downside is you think you've got everything set, but you don't. Actually, what we'll do is I remember what to do now. First, we make the top. You're going to be the top. Boink. 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 Oop, undo that. Boink. Boink. You're my top. I'm going to set you kind of like that. And doesn't really matter as long as that is the top. All right. Okay, so that means that if that's my top, then this is my bottom. I'm really hoping I get this orientation right. You know what? Let's just have some fun and draw a face real kind of quick to orient ourselves. Let's not recast. This should be adding masking. Yeah, okay. So, here's our little guy. Yeah, I can fix that if I need to. In fact, I can just... There. Some eyes. Eyes. Nose. Mouth. I'm an idiot. Make some symmetry here, yeah. Eyes, nose, grin. There we go. Okay, his head is right there. That's the direct top. The great thing is we can just kind of do whatever the hell we want here. Big ass capsule. I know that is the head. God, it's trippy to look at though. Okay, no, I don't need all this symmetry anymore. Twink. Good, that's dead on top. All right, give me that symmetry again. Let's mask. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now I can invert the mask. Sweet. All right. I enjoy this program. Flip it. Good. Yep, we're still. All right. Okay, subtract some mask. All right. Flip it. Start some curve. I don't want the mouth to be completely symmetrical. Unflip it. And unsymmetry me. Remove mask. Some nice broken teeth here. You can still be a fang, but be a deeper fang. Yeah. Let's put another tooth in there. A nice broken fang here. Yeah, give me a broken fang here. Yeah, a whole secondary tooth there. Let's make this a bigger fang. Give me another broken-y style one. Alright, that's better. Can make a whole skeleton or a whole scarecrow man. Alright. Mask. Flip it. Carve it. Nice. That's a broken mouth. Perfect. In a second here, we'll hollow him out. Alright, let's hollow him out. Boop. Okay. Clear the mask. Let's give him a quick... I don't really like the smooth. Kind of like the foul geometry there. So his eyes are symmetrical. Let's go back to this briefly. Some clay. Let's just We'll deal with that outside of the symmetry. Where else I want built up? I always kind of like having their outer jaws built up. I can't go too crazy on this because we're in symmetry. And his mouth is no longer symmetrical. Hackety cough. Okay. There we go. Let's give this a light smooth. Be careful when I'm ray casting. It's fine if I fire it inside of him, but I don't want to go too crazy on internal blasts. All right, let's fix some of these teeth. Yep. Where else do we have weird? Shouldn't say weird, I should say overly weird toothiness. Yep. That's a little too much missing material. Good, 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 good. Good, good, not quite. Good, not quite. Good. Close enough. Want him to be head up a little bit. Yeah, that'll do. Yep. All right. Careful. Always fun to do a little pumpkining. Just want some lines. Service guides. Okay. This tool is rapidly becoming a new favorite of mine. It's gonna go straight down. Straight down. Straight-ish down. Recast me. Oop, nope. Pretty much following that line. All right. And it's some messed up geometry. Okay. Make it look a little bit less gross. Ooh, especially here. Yikes. More organic, less chainsaw. Love this mode. It's like a little ray gun that does hours of sculpting in a few moments. It's just adjusting the size. You know, I'm an idiot. Silly me. Oops. Don't raycast it. There you go. All right, unweird this geometry a little bit. Yeah, nice. Let's drink down. Yeesh. Fill that yuck up. Much better. Yep. Honestly, that does a great job at just making the crease a little bit more palatable. Let's check the old chat if anybody's still hanging out. Chat. Where's the chat? There's the chat. Okay. Hello, IDK. How we doing? All right. Have a good one, Sarah. Thanks for hanging out with us. All right. The nice thing with this pumpkin and this sort of stuff is you can pretty much make it any size you want. I can, if you get a big enough printer, you can print a massive pumpkin. Yeah, I'm pretty much just getting sections cut out as I like them. You can cut out the entire inside, and there's a couple spots where I kind of missed with my little area blaster, but it doesn't hugely matter. Doesn't really matter at all. Anything can be smoothed back down, deflated. As this thing will just collapse vertexes in. I'm actually a little bit curious to see how well the deflate creases. Not really as good as the crease tool, but not really surprising on that front. Suffice to say, there's a million ways you can make the pumpkin stripies. Crease tool, deflate tool. You can even build up the areas you want expanded with the clay or anything else. It's all down to how do you want to do it. Big thing is I wanted to make sure I left enough material in there that if I start really making big grooves, Doesn't make it so thin that I can't 3D print it, assuming I wanted to, or want to. That's kind of nice. A little bit less of a wrecking ball tool. Ugh, I do not like that geometry. Just gonna make it go away. I don't think you quite get teeth as well the way I just did using the whatchamacallit. Using some of the tools. Some of the ways I like to do teeth even more are just using this this carve here. Make your yeah, something more like this. And then what you can do is just kind of rough it with your teeth. Let's see if I can find one that this will really lend itself well to. Yeah. Something like that. Let's it's more of a knife cut. Pumpkin tooth. And you do not have to worry about it being perfect by any means. Like that's just got such sharper edges. Now I can come in here with the move tool and do things. Yeah. Not like that. That's kind of ugly. But let's hit it with a smooth. There. And now we've got a lot more, cut looking cut. And being precise is completely unnecessary. Except for right there, apparently. I have no idea how this is going to work. I'm just trying it out. Not bad. A little more V-shaped, a little less sections missing. Yeah. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Oh. And worst case scenario, just add a tooth. It was always there. I don't know what anyone's talking about. That tooth was always right there. So, lots of ways to go about it. All right. I'm just going to save this little guy. Downloads. There. Work on them at any point. I think I've made another one for VR chat at one point, but cool. Yeah, it's just the stuff you can do in this program. And again, wanted to test streaming it. And check the old chat, see if anybody's still hanging on. I forget what the... Oh, that's right. Strength of the thing is the side to side. Cool. All right. Hello, IDK. I don't have orange on my printer for filaments. I really, quite frankly, I would much, much, much rather paint it in a neutral filament color, or print it in a neutral filament color and then paint it. If you really want to, in this program, though, you can... Let's get us... Let's see here. Paint. There we go, brush. That really is not an orangey orange. That's, I mean, an orangey here. Let me get rid of the wireframe. There we go. Yeah, if you want to color stuff in this program, you can. Get yourself a look at how it's gonna look in the end. Mineralist roughness emission. I know there's several programs that you can do this sort of coloration in. Blender is probably the one most people instantaneously think of. But yeah, you can do all that sort of stuff. You can even let's do let's give him a little candle. Reset. There. I needed to make it taller. And paint. Pardon. Give him a candle here. Yeah, it's not. We're not going to go too crazy. Paint. Make where you can go a little bit crazy is you can set the emission. Let's go back a little bit. More emission. So now our little our guy here has got a little bit more of a candle-y candle going on there because I made the the circle and the cone have a greater light emission from it. metalness, roughness, emission. Problem is, if you go too high on emission, it's pretty much your color is going to be white. Like, yeah, that probably would have been a better way to go. Of course. Can just paint it candle emission color. And if you want to take the time, I could color in all the grooves. Yeah, you can have some serious fun. I would really be doing a lot more sculpting, though, especially around that. I'd be fixing the mouth. But yeah, easy to do, simple, fun. And again, you're working with your hands. I'm not giving it instructions to make this design with the spline and extrude inwards to remove material. You could probably make a much more precise pumpkin face in that regard, but let's give ourselves a more precise pumpkin face, but this whole program is meant to be with your hands in VR. I forgot we can do opacity. Glow, pumpkin, glow. I kind of want to make his eyes glowy. Honestly, that looks really, really cool. It looks like the candles actually lit him up from the inside. Let's have some more fun real quick. That is a lot of fun. That is a tremendous amount of fun. Little paint, and he's all lit up. I mean, the sculpt is kind of awful and needs a lot more time and whatnot, but yeah, just simple sphere, and I really like that lighting effect. Really, really, really like that lighting effect. In fact, we're gonna take a quick screenshot. Whoops. Oh wait, it's I forget the hotkey for it. That's it. I also like to be looking at the window. Never mind. Every time I try to do that. Pumpkin, come here. Nope. This just is not my day. There. Close enough. That's just too fun. That's so stupidly simple in terms of color, and it actually looks like he's lit. That's why I like this program. All right. Think we're gonna end it here because nobody's going to watch me striving away for hours and hours and hours doing tiny little modifications. So thanks for hanging out with me, Dave. Appreciate it. And IDK, if you're still there, thanks for hanging out as well. Take care, gang. We'll catch you around next time. And since I'm on my my downstairs setup rather than the regular setup, I have no fancy end screen. I'm just gonna throw my glasses on and hit stop. Have a great night, guys. Take care and keep your